it seems to me that these moments require an honest confrontation with who we are. And we're already engaged in the game of illusions, in the kind of construction of fantasies, right? That really what's motivating us is just simply economic insecurity, inflation, and the like. And of course, those issues matter. But when we look concretely at what's happening, when we look at what follows Donald Trump in his wake, we see all of this violence. We see all of this racial vitriol. We hear Fuentes declaring that he now owns women's bodies and the like. We have to begin to ask ourselves an honest question. Why is there a correlation between kind of those who support Donald Trump and this ugliness? Because it's this ugliness that's the fuel of Trumpism. Richard Slotkin, the historian, has said that we are in a second lost cause, Alec. That we're in a moment in which there's a reassertion of the lie. Now, what does that mean in its details? Remember what's at the heart of the lost cause. The heart of the lost cause is a refusal to accept what was the actual for the Civil War. It wasn't slavery. It wasn't slavery, Ali. It was economics. And here we are in this moment engaged in a similar denial. Right. You know, Baldwin said the horror of America is that it's changing all the time, but never changes at all. There's something like this eternal return because we're dealing with the consequences of the tragic choice at the beginning of the Republic, right? The choice that we reconcile, where we reconcile democratic principles with the reality, with the institution of slavery, with the subordination of women, with the exploitation of children, the exploitation of workers, with the genocide of native peoples, that there is this kind of gook within which the American project came into being. And to confront that is not to condemn us to the gallows.
No.
To confront that is actually to create the conditions to release us into a new way of being. But let me say this, Ali, really quickly. I come out of a tradition that has had to deal with the violence of when the fever dream spikes. There are too many people in my tradition who've lost folk. My professor, Albert Rabbitoe, who wrote Slave Religion, lost his dad. He didn't grow up with his father. Why? Because a Mississippi store shop owner shot him in the head because he dared to confront him over the way he treated his wife. This isn't some abstract issue for us. The idea of how we're going to survive and get to the other side when it seems as if the country has lost its damn mind takes on a real tangible kind of feeling because my mom and my dad grew up in Jim Crow, Mississippi. This isn't slavery, right? This is immediate for some people.
Right.
You know, that's a hard question to answer. I've been trying to figure it out. How do you tell people? I mean, I was having this argument just this morning with folk that their numbers around black voters in the 2024 election was just wrong. How do we deal in a world where passion overruns reason, where we're in different information ecosystems, where we don't agree on just simply basic facts? I don't know. The only thing I do know is that we can't capitulate to it. We can't try to figure out how to make those folk comfortable. We have to continue to tell the truth. We have to do what Bartleby the Scrivener did in Melville's story, right? We have to say, I prefer not to. And part of the worry is that because of the nature of the election, too many people want to consent and concede to the lie that folk are telling folk. You know, Americans prefer their illusion straight, no chaser. That's what Eugene O'Neill was exploring in The Iceman Cometh. We have to shatter those illusions with the truth and then a bit more, it seems to me. I do know that we have to stop playing games. You know, the Democratic Leadership Council, engaged in this triangulation. It thought that what it needed to do was to distance the Democratic Party from unions and its base, black folk and the like, and make its way toward the right and kind of try to triangulate and take the issues from Reagan. And that gave us Bill Clinton, right? And we've been dealing with that as we've been trying to, Democrats have been kind of engaged in this forlorn romantic kind of tryst. They always want to get the Reagan Democrats back, right? And what we've been doing is conceding the terms of the fight. Part of what must happen in this moment is that we must reject the framework of our politics. And people who are current leaders can do it. But it all depends if they have the courage, Ali.
Yeah.
But I know what has to happen. We have to find out. We have to take responsibility for this thing.
Yes.
and we're going to have to say no and engage the battle. Although it's very hard. I can't begin to tell you how distrustful I am right now.
Yeah,
What have these people done?